Good afternoon, class. I am Jovelyn Cadatal, your assigned teacher in today's discussion, and you can call me Teacher Jovi. So before we start our discussion, may I request everyone to open your camera and let us pray. Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Dear Father, we offer everything and thank you for everyone gathered here today to walk with you. May we ask you for your blessings and guidance so that the activities set for this undertaking be successful. We ask you to open our eyes to see the wonderful things from this activity. We ask that you to open our ears so that we may retain the invaluable knowledge. Open our minds for us to think wisely. Put us with understanding, cooperation, and peace in fulfilling our responsibilities. Open our hearts so that we may receive your everlasting love. And open our spirit so that we may know that you are with us all throughout this day. As all this in Jesus Christ. So, before we start, be sure that your internet connection is stable and be able to attend in this discussion in this very moment, and be sure that you are in a safe area to avoid disruption. Okay? So now, may I now check your attendance. So, class, who are absent? Okay, none. Okay, very good. Thank you. So, before we proceed to our discussion, I have here a short video, and all I want you to do is watch and listen very well. Then afterwards, I will ask questions regarding to the video clip that I presented. So, is the instruction clear to you, class? Okay, so now this is the video. So class, are you familiar with the video that I presented? Yes? Okay. So, what did you observe in the short video? Yes, Mr. Gepila. Uh-huh. Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Gepila. So, what do you think is the characteristics of the artworks in China, Japan, and Korea? Any idea, class? Okay, very good. So, it is nice that you have already have a background knowledge about these pictures. So, what do you think is our topic for today, class? Do you know what is our topic for today, class? Yes, Mr. Gepila. Okay, so very good. Today, we are going to discuss the characteristics of East Asian arts in Japan, China, and Korea. So, let's now proceed to our discussion. So, what do you think are the let's proceed to the country of China. So, China, types of arts. Gongbi. Gongbi described as a court-style painting. The characteristic of Gongbi is it is often highly colored and usually depicts figural or narrative subject. So, yun nga, ang characteristics ng Gongbi, ito yung mga highly colored and usually it depicts nga yung mga kung nakikita nyo sa isang painting na figure out nyo agad kung ano yung pinaparating ng isang arts, di ba? So now let's proceed to Shuimo. Okay, Shuimo is ink and brush painting. The characteristic of this Shuimo is expresses the abstract beauty of lines and rhythm through the organization structure of line and dots, and it reflects a person's emotion. So, yun nga, sabi nila, ito yung mga paintings na parang ink lang siya, brush lang yung yung ginagamit. It's not usually na you can draw these arts, but it's usually it uses brush and ink. So, yun nga sabi nila, it reflects person's emotions. That's it. So, now, let's proceed to the last one, types arts of China, which is calligraphy. Do you know what is calligraphy, class? Any idea? What do you think calligraphy is popular to the country of China? Yeah, kasi ito yung mga ginagamit nila sa mga letterings like that. So, it's called like a calligraphy. So, these are the types of arts of China. Calligraphy. It is a visual art related to writing. Yung characteristic ng calligraphy is, it is the art of beautiful handwriting. Siyempre, sino ba naman ang ayaw magandang sulat, di ba, class? So, that is the arts of China. And now, let's proceed to the country of Japan. So, class, any idea, what do you think is the arts and crafts of Japan and their characteristic? Any idea? Yes, Mr. Gepila. Okay, so number 1. Okay, very good. Origami. What else, class? Wood blocking painting. Next one, face painting. Okay, what else, class? Japanese mask. Okay, let's see if your answer is correct. So, Japan. Okay, like Gepila said, the types of arts in Japan is origami. So, who wants to read origami? Okay, thank you, Mr. De La Cruz. So, origami. Origami is the art of paper folding. The characteristic of origami is traditional origami consists of folding a single sheet of square paper, often with a colored side, into a sculpture without cutting, gluing, taping, or even marking it. So, di ba nung elementary tayo, I think, so, you are doing origami when you are in elementary. So, it is, pinaka-basic lang yan, di ba, class? So, that's it. So, let's proceed to wood block printing. Okay, wood block printing, a technique of printing text, image, or patterns used widely in Asia. So, bakit kaya natawag na types of arts ng Japan ang wood block printing? Yes, Mr. Gapila. Okay, very good. So, yun nga, ang characteristics ng wood block printing is it works by carving words or pictures onto a large block of wood. Diba? So, now let's proceed to number 3 of the arts of Japan is the Japanese mask. So, alam naman natin na siguro lahat kayo dito class nakakakita na ng mask, 'di ba? Pag kung naranasan niyo nang mag JS from, 'di ba? May mga kanya-kanyang motif ang isang school kung saan sila napapadpad na mag JS from, ganon, di ba class? So, yun nga, Japanese mask used in any popular Japanese theater performance. Sa kanila naman kasi, they are used mask when they are performing in a theater. So, that's it. So, the characteristic of Japanese mask is made up of dramatic lines and shapes applied in different colors. So, yun nga, syempre, sino ba naman ang hindi artistic ang pagkagawa ng ating mask, di ba class? So, yun nga, characteristic is it made up of dramatic lines and shapes applied in different colors, so each representing different qualities. So, yun nga, representing each different qualities. Dito na masasabi natin kung gaano tayo kagaling or ka-creative sa mga arts na ginagawa natin. So, the last one types of the arts of Japan is face painting. So, who wants to read face painting? Oh, yes. Can you read this slide, Mr. Kodal? Okay. So, sabi nga nila, face painting. The act of painting or drawing designs on a person's face as a form of ornamentation. Diba, one of the example of this one in the Philippines, diba, pag may birthday celebration, may clown tayong tinatawag, di ba class? So yun, yung parang they are pinipaint nila yung mukha ng isang clown. Someone na nagme-makeup dun sa isang clown, which is ito yung halimbawa na tinatawag nating face painting, di ba? Ito nga yung designs on a person's face as a form of ornamentation. So, the characteristic of face painting is to present drama, to mask, one depicting tragedy and the other depicting comedy was inspired by Greek theater. O yun nga, characteristic of, yun sa halimbawa ko na, what do you call that? The clown. Diba ang clown, one, it is depicting as a comedy, diba? Kasi nagpapatawa ang clown. Yun nga, dito sa Philippines, tinatawag natin yun na face painting. But in Japan, yes, it is also called face painting wherein yung characteristic nito ay depicting either tragedy or either depicting comedy. Diba? Sa atin naman kasi, when we say yung halimbawa natin na clown, it depicts comedy, right, class? Okay, any question and clarification, class? None so far. Okay, so now let's proceed to the country of Korea. So I know that all of you here or some are very fond of Korean drama, watching Korean movies, like the singing of your idols like K-pop, like so I know that all of you here is fan of the country of Korea. So now let's move to the no. Let's, so now let's, so now let's move on to the Korea. So types of arts of Korea is theater mass, drums, and the last one is K-pop. O, diba? Sabi ko sa inyo, types of arts din nila ang K-pop. So, let's first discuss about the theater mass. So, theater mass used by popular Korean in every performance. So, yun nga, ang theater mass, just like sa Japan, diba, may Japanese mass din sila. Wherein, ginagamit nila yon in performance din. Wherein sa Korea naman, they use this by popular in every performance. So, ginagamit nila to in every performance. Bakit kaya? Bakit kaya, class? Bakit kaya nila ginagamit ang theater mass in every performance? What do you think, class? Really? Oh, okay, very good. So, what else, class? Yes, Miss Invierno. Okay, very good. So, yun nga, ang characteristic of Korea is, it is a visual literature, a transient, momentary kind. It is the most impressive because it can be seen as a reality. It expands itself by its very revelation. So, yun nga, sabi nga nila, momentary kind. So, it is the most impressive because it can be seen as a reality. Siguro dito, sabi nga nila, every performance, they use this in every performance, wherein, kaya nga, reality siya. So, now, let's proceed to the types of arts of Korea, which is drums. So, who can read this slide? So, number 2. Yes, Mr. Cabanya. Can you read this slide? Okay, thank you, Mr. Cabanya. So, drums. Sabi nga dito, it is important part in traditional Korean music, ranging from folk music. Yun nga, di ba, halos lahat naman ng music, kailangan natin ng drums, di ba? So, we cannot express or we cannot dance if there's no drums. Kasi ang ginagamit ang drums to know our beating. Right, class? Our rhythm. That is why this drums is very important part in traditional Korean music. So now, the characteristic of drums is, it is a wide variety of shapes and size for use both in accompanying other instruments and in special drumming performances. So yun nga, ginagamit nila ang drums in every special performances. So, now, let's proceed to the last one, which is K-pop. Oh, diba, K-pop, sinali nila sa types of arts nila. That is why, K-pop, it is a genre of popular music originating in South Korea. Yun nga, they are, I know that all of you here is a fan of watching K-pop in Korea. So, the characteristic of Korea is consider it to be an all-encompassing genre exhibiting a wide spectrum of musical and visual elements. It defines K-pop as a fusion of synthesis music, sharp dance routines, and fashionable, colorful outfits. So yun nga, K-pop, nandun na lahat. Kumbaga, ito na yung mga musical and visual elements nila wherein nandito na yung mga pananamit nila, yung daily routines nila, yung fashion nila in every dance. So, that's it, class. So, any clarification or any justification? Okay, none so far. So, may I call on Mr. Gapila to summarize what is our discussion for today? Yes, Mr. Gapila? Okay, thank you, Mr. Gapila. So, yun nga, we discuss about the types of arts and characteristic of each arts of Korea, Japan, and China, which is in China there is a gongdi, shumo, calligraphy, and in Japan there is origami, wood block painting, Japanese mask, and the face painting, anime, and the manga. So in Korea there is also a theater mask, drums, and K-pop. So that's all the types of arts and the characteristic of every art in Korea, Japan, and China. So now I think you are now ready for your next activity. So now I think that you are ready for your next activity. So this is the direction of your activity. So choose among the East Asian countries, which includes Korea, China, or Japan, that you would like to visit someday. Draw a scenery on that country that struck you the most and write a short description about it and be guided with the rubrics given below. So this is the rubric. So cleanliness is 30%. Creativity and workmanship is 50%, and content is 20%, and the total of 100%. I repeat, this is the directions of your activity. So choose among the East Asian countries, Korea, China, Japan, that you would like to visit someday. Draw a scenery on that country that struck you the most and write a short description about it and be guided with the rubrics given below. So these are the rubrics. So cleanliness is a total of 30%, creativity and workmanship is 50%, content is 20%, the total of 100%. So are the direction clear to you, class? Okay, so you may now start your activity and you will present that later, and I will give you 10 minutes to do that. So are my instruction clear, you class? Okay, you may start your activity. Okay, class, your 10 minutes is up. Are you done? Okay, so you may now present your activity. Good job, everyone. So as I observe, you are so very creative and you have a clean work, and let's give ourselves a round of applause. So now, class, I will give you 5 minutes to review so that we can have a short quiz. Okay, may we start our quiz now? So number 1, during what period of Chinese history did Si He invent paper? And number 2, it is a type of Korean drum which like a barrel. Then number 3, which of the following is the name of Korean mask? Which of the following is the name of Korean mask? Number 4, the word manhwa or manga linguistically means in Japanese. And number 5, in East Asia, the technique for printing text, image, or patterns used widely throughout is called. And number 6, it is a style of animation popular in Japanese films. It is a style of animation popular in Japanese film. Number 7, painting can be a hanging skull or hand skulls, album sheets, walls, lacquerware, folding screens, and number 8, it is one of the Japanese painting, which means picture of the floating world. Number 8, it is the one of the Japanese painting, which means picture of the floating world. And number 9, what beautiful art handwritings come from China? What beautiful art handwriting comes from China? And number 10, it is an act of painting or drawing the signs of a person's face as a form of ornamentation. It is an act of painting or drawing the signs on a person's face as a form of ornamentation. And number 11, this has a great function in the development of arts not only in East Asia but all over the world. This has a great function in the development of arts not only East Asia but all over the world. And number 12, it is a genre of popular music that comes from South Korea. It is a genre of popular music that comes from South Korea. Then number 13 rather, Japanese origami uses different types of models as their subject in painting. The following are the models used except 1. Japanese origami uses different types of model as their subject in painting. The following are the models used except 1. Number 14. The following are some of the most popular K-pop groups except 1. The following are some of the most popular K-pop groups except 1. And the last number is, it expresses the abstract beauty of lines and rhythm through the organization of structure of lines and dots. It expresses the abstract beauty of lines and rhythm through the organization of structure of lines and dots. Okay, class, you may exchange your paper, and let's now check your paper. So, number 1. The correct answer is letter A. Number 2. The correct answer is letter A. And number 3, the correct answer is letter, sabi niya, which of the following is the name of Korean mask? So it is letter A, it's Gamyeon. Number 4, the word manhwa or manga linguistically means, what is the correct answer? It's letter B, comics. And number 5, in East Asia, the technique for printing text, image, or pattern used widely throughout is called, what do you think is the answer, class? It is woodblock printing. So number 6, it is styles of animation popular in Japanese films. What do you think? It is style of animation. It's letter A. It's anime. It's anime. And number 7, the correct answer is letter A. It's media. And number 8, the correct answer is letter, what do you think, class? It is a letter D, ukiyo. And number 9, it says here that what beautiful art handwriting comes from China. What do you think, class? It is a Chinese calligraphy. So the answer is letter B. And number 10, it is an act of painting or drawing designs on a person's face as a form of ornamentation. What do you think, class? It is letter B, face painting. And number 11, this has a great function in development of arts not only East Asia but all over the world. So what is the correct answer? It is letter D, yo. So number 12, it is a genre of popular music that's come from South Korea. It is a genre, so what do you think, class? It is letter A, it's K-pop. So number 13, Japanese origami uses different types of models as their subject in painting. The following are the models used except one. So what do you think, class? What do you think is the answer? It's letter A. So number 14, the following are some of the most popular K-pop groups except one. What do you think, class, is the answer? It's letter. The following are some of the most popular K-pop groups except one. Of course, except one is, what do you think, class? It's letter C, except one, sabi niya. So the last number, last item is 15. It expresses the abstract beauty of lines and rhythm through the organization of structure of lines and dots. So what do you think is the answer, class? It's letter D. It's shumoi. Shumoi. So, okay, class, let's give ourselves a round of applause. So who got 15? Mr. Gapila, and who got 14? Okay, so that's a good job, everyone. So now, for your assignment, you are going to make an infographics about the topic that we discussed. The content of the infographics must be the different kinds of arts of Japan, Korea, and China. Ulitin ko, your assignment are you are going to make an infographics about the topic that we discussed, and the content of the infographics must be the different kinds of arts of Japan, Korea, and China. So, I have here a quotation, class, about the arts. So, John Dewey said, "Art is not a possession of the few who are recognized writers, painters, musicians. It is the authentic expression of any and all individuality. Those who have the gift of creative expression in unusually large measure disclose the meaning of the individuality of others to those others. In participating in the work of art, they become artists in their activity. They learn to know and honor individuality in whatever form it appears. The fountains of creative activity are discovered and released. The free individuality, which is the source of art, is also the final source of creative development in time." So that what John Dewey said. So that's all for today, class. Thank you for your cooperation, and God bless everyone, and good day. Goodbye.